Okay, so I'm going to do a video on how to assemble this Keter. It's a 2 foot 6 inch by 4 foot 7 inch by 6 foot. It's high store. It's a big fucking cabinet is what it is. And I just put one together, took it apart, put it together, took it apart, and made all the mistakes. And I'm going to do a second one. And I thought I'd do the video to try to save you the trouble of the crap I went through. And there's my I'm not going to do the exciting unboxing. I took the lid off and did one. There's the dirty box. It's winter time, so I'm going to put this together in my garage. It's light, easy to carry out, on a little pad that I made for him out of patio block. So, and I'll get a prettier picture off the internet. But it weighs about 100 pounds, maybe 150 pounds total in the box, so unloading it into the truck yourself isn't terrible. But it's nice to have a friend, but I don't have any friends. So I'll walk through this. As you can see, the surface is a little roughed up. All these panels are the same except for the 2 front doors. It's not too hard, or not too easy to screw it up. And you can see it accepts paint. If you want to paint it some kind of horrendous color, go right ahead. But I think it looks fine without the paint on it. I'll start walking through all the parts in a second here. Okay, so here's the instruction. Here's some piece of paper that says if you're missing any parts, tough shit, we'll mail them to you. Don't go back to the store. The instructions, they're not bad, but the front, right in the front, it's going to give us a list of all the parts. The drawings are pretty good. Tell me what they are. And it shows the screws on it. I think that's on the second page. No, they're down here. It'll say screw 15. Screw 1 right on the bag. Screw 1 here. This is a whole lot of this particular size, so I put them in my pocket, the smaller ones. But each one has a size right on the bag. Not too difficult. Has some little shelf brackets, but it doesn't come with the wood for the shelf. And all the parts. This one will say DRR1, door right is what it means. At least that's what I interpret it as, and all the parts have special numbers on them, and the plastic has it molded in there. There we go. This is the covers for the door hinge, and you can see it's called DH door hinge. That's freaking genius. And on the inside, it'll have the part number in there. It's hard to see. That one's SR, but you can see there's an SL on that one. They're molded in. They're molded in there. They're kind of hard to see, but it's perfect. It's not hard. Although I still managed to screw it up, and it always had more screws than we need. This video is also, I'm going to put it up and let it go through a couple of summers in the heat, and if it warps or goes to crap, I'll update the video. So the older this video gets, the better. So these are the 4 door corners, or 4 corner posts. All 4 of them are exactly the same size, if you look at the ends. But it is important how they go together. The directions, it wasn't obvious to me until I looked back that it made sense after I did it wrong. The door panels are going to be attached together with this red tape, and they're going to have these marks for the hinges on them, and then one of them's going to have a square hole for the door, so you don't accidentally use those as wall panels, depending on how many beers you had. I'll sit this off to the side because this is elastic. Then there's floor and ceiling panels. The floor and the ceiling panel is exactly the same panel. You can grab either one and throw it down. Start with the floor. And then these panels that go on. There's a different one for the ceiling and different one for the floor. And then here we have the metal parts. Those go on the lips of the doors. And then there's one that goes in the back panel. Right, for your screws, you're going to have these appropriately named screw number 1. And I'm going to dump all these in my pants pocket because I'm going to use a crap load of these. That's what 90% of them are. And then for the floors, they're going to use screw 15, 20, whatever the hell that means. These are going to be the ones with the flat head. Where are we at? Hello. And all the rest of them are regular can head screw. They look like this. Oh. There we go. And then there's some tiny screws for the hinges that we'll look at later on. So I'm just going to throw this on the floor here because that's where we're going to use them. And then there's these floor and roof tiles. The one for the floor is going to have this ledge on it, a little grip and a ramp for the floor. And it's going to have something marked on the back for where it says FR for floor right, and this one's going to be cleverly named floor left. And then for the ceiling ones, they're going to be a little smaller, and they're going to snap together. I'll just throw that aside because we're going to have to use that a lot later. And then they're going to have these little guys here that just got to be trimmed off. They go together in the middle, just like that, and then it screws on, and the holes line up quite nicely. Yeah, that's what I said, quite nicely on this hole. There we go. It overlaps like that. And let's just move in and take a better look. There we go. You can see that just kind of goes right in there, and the holes line up. You got to screw 2 on each end. Then one here, all the way to the end, 2 on the other end. And like I said, those are those flat screws. Screw 15. Once you get that in, you put up the side posts. Now, this part on both sides, this flat tab is going to face inward toward the doors. So the door opening is going to have a flat tab on either side, and this slot is going to go to the back. It's going to pop in there, all 4 of them. And the center is going to have the 2 sides. So we'll get this in, and I'll show you how the back goes together because this is important. This is the mistake I made. These walls, the panel board part goes on the outside, the inside is smooth, and the walls are going to have a notch, a male notch on one side. This one's been done, I got to make sure I close that up, and then a female notch on the other side. And on the back, the female notches point toward each other because there's a strip that goes in the middle, which means the male part is going to be just like this on both sides. So if that's the case, then the female slot on this guy has to face toward the middle. So you're going to have male on this side, female on this side, and the two males in the front pointing toward each other. The same on both sides. You'll stand up a back wall. Going to go just like that, and then we'll put the male, because this is a female slot, and we'll turn it around and we'll stick that in here. So we'll take a look at this. Is the wall I just put up. There you can see is the male strip. I put paint on my hand, I'm not dying. And then over here on this side of the wall is the female strip. This will be the side where the doors are. They're going to be male on each side, pointing toward each other because the doors kind of hinge against this. And then you'll have the female here. And this last one will be a male. Just like that. So you'll have male here, female on the other side. And I'll just lay this down. Once you get the walls, and these things kind of freestand by themselves, but I want to show you this other piece that goes between the two. Because if you have a male on each side, you can have two females pointing at each other, which, by the way, is really cool, except for sheds, because if you don't have this, there's a slot on the bottom. You'll see that on the directions, and there's a hole in the bottom of this guy that the slot goes in. And the wider one, you'll see one side is thin, the other side is wider. The wider one's going to go toward the back and pop in there just like that until it falls over. There you go. And what I'll do next is I'll stick that panel in and snap it all together. I'll do it that direction. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to do it that way so the camera shows it. And it's easier to see. And always keep an eye out, make sure that the panel side is on the outside and the smooth side goes toward the inside. It'll be just fine, I think, if you did it all backwards like that. If that's the side you want to show, you could do it that way, but you couldn't do half and half, I don't think. So we gotta hit that little notch and come together just like that. You're doing this and you're struggling with it, well, so did I the first time. So it should fall together really nice, and it almost self-levels if you do it in the garage. I'll throw another one on here, and then I'll move the camera afterwards. Here I've got the female side on one side, the male on the other, and these stripes on the back of the outside. I could really pull this out of the way. just do one end at a time. Give it a nice tap with the mallet. Then I'll move the camera. Okay, before I go any further, there's these strips. The ends look like this. They're just plastic strips. And they go inside of the panel and a hole on the top. They'll slide down. So that way when you drill the hinges, it has something to bite into. Just an extra layer. And they're later on in the instructions. But since I'm building it inside and I can't go up high, I'm going to put them in earlier. But I'll find the part of the instructions right here where it shows where they go, and this is going to be step 15, and it's going to show how they go in. And this horseshoe part, the actual flat part, is going to go to the inside, so when the screws go through, they have something extra to bite into. I don't know how much extra, but when I finished the other one, I was very happy with the way the hinges held, and it doesn't seem like it's a cheap piece of crap plastic. It seemed pretty strong. So I got to take that wall back off and put it on there, and then stick it in the other one. It should just take a minute anyway. I will point out though, it's going to go in this slot according to the directions. Okay, we'll cut that part out. Okay, I will point out though, on this, on step 15, this guy's going to go in. You can see there's the lip, there's one square and the second square away. There's my male lip, one square, the second square away. And since this has the lines on it, the inside of the board is going to be here, and you want this flat part pointing toward the inside just like this. I noticed that mine that I just got, the end split. I think I stepped on it, to be honest, and it's not really going to be a big deal for this because it still gets screwed in the right way. Put them at the second slot and I slide that in just like that, with this being the outside of the panel where the horseshoe or the opening is. Slide that guy in there and almost forget about it until it falls out the bottom. I would guess doing this in the wind would be an absolute nightmare, so I would probably not do this in the wind. I'm going to show you something you might run into. Probably shouldn't happen if you're doing this in the warm, because everything will flex nice. But this lip was catching and I couldn't slide it down. So if I come in at an angle and pry it in, it goes in just nice. It goes in just fine. And that'll hold it together. I'll stick this panel in and everything will kind of hold together after that. If you really wanted to, you can run a piece of string around it, but I don't think you need to do it. I didn't have to do it the last time. There's my last one. There we go. A little tap. Tap in. There we go. So there's your three sides. Once you got them all pinned together like that, it'll stop flopping around on you. Alright, now we're going to do the roof, and I came around to a different spot. And this is the panel, same as the floor, it's SLF for floor. The SLRR and SLRL, right? Roof left, roof right. And that's these guys here that we looked at a minute ago. And then we have this guy here that's going to go right there for the door jamb to slam on. And it's called the MR. This MR for big metal thing, apparently is what MR stands for. And these are going to use the same screws, the 15s, which is the flat screws that we looked at a minute ago, these guys. Anything that attaches to the roof and the floor is going to be these flat screws. I'm not sure why, because you don't really need the head to be flat like that, except for to grip the plastic. But if you lose one, a pen screw looks like it'll work just fine. Get these guys off of here. Trim that plastic crap off. And then just like the roof, or the floor, this goes right down here on each end. Lines up, you gotta make sure the holes line up. Just like that. And then this metal piece also. Make sure the holes line up. I couldn't get them close to center. I didn't have a problem on it. And buzz all those screws in. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is put in the gazillion screws to make sure it's stable and stiffen it up. And there's a bunch of spots. The directions show each one. There's a little indent here and down here. And we come in the corners, we got an indent. In each spot we got to put a screw. Right there on both sides. We got them here and down on in the middle. And then all around we have these guys. Screw holes all the way around. We're going to put, these are all the SC, the screw number 1. All around the bottom. We're going to buzz them all in. But before we do it, we want to make sure that it's square so it lines up nice. And best place is right here, because you see there's no lip down there to get in the way. And try it with one hand, it's a pain in the butt. We're nice and square here, because we want the door to be square on both sides. That's nice. And then I guess we can do the top too, but it's gonna be square, because that's how squares work. And then, but if you'll notice, when you do it in the back, first of all, you don't want to, you got to be careful because there's a lip there and it'll make it look like it's not square. But if I sit that here, you can see there's an angle. Maybe you can't, my light sucks. But you can see there's an angle. It's not perfectly square. It's a little, but I'd really like it to be leaning backwards a little bit, or forward to run for the runoff. But damn it, I got lucky and it's perfectly square, or unlucky. So, but the good news is my pad that I put it on has a little bit of a slope, so water doesn't sit on top and ice. But I don't think it'd be that important. I just don't like it dripping inside. Okay, so I've got all my hinges laid out. I got 6 of them. I put one together. I got one. I put one together. If you look at the directions on, oh, what step are we? Yeah, if you look at the directions on step 26 where it says to squeeze these together, and if you grab one of these hinges and you'll be like, what the hell? The picture doesn't make any sense. It actually, if you're forcing it, it's too hard. You just gently bend it. It'll only go one way, and it'll do that. So let's put this one together. I don't know. My battery died before, and I don't know if we got it. So we'll take these guys, each hinge cover, cut them apart. Careful with the knife. I also used to be a meat cutter. Not that I'm careful, I cut myself all the time, and I just don't know any better. So, 2 sizes of this square. That one's too big, it won't fit. And the other one goes in there just fine. So the little plastic piece is going to go on the little square. We use a magnetic screwdriver and put it right in the hole. Same with the big guy. Big one goes in there, and there's, actually you can see there's like a little pin right there for this to go into. A little slot that goes in. I don't think I would use an electric screwdriver for this, because these screws are little and I think it'd be pretty easy to strip them out. Although with some of them you can reduce the torque on. But there we go. And then we kind of squeeze them together. And that's how it's going to go on the door. And I'll buzz through the rest of these off camera. There's also 2 metal door edges. You got one that's an L channel and one that's a, what the hell is it? A T, funky looking T thing. Now, this T one is going to go on the door without the handle. So the door with the handle is going to have a square cut out, and you can see that sucker. leaned against the wall over here. And there's the square handle cut out of it. So this is going to go on the one with the handle, the L-shaped one, the one that's titled MD. And then this T one is going to go here. And each end has this little groove in it. So this guy is going to go under here. Oops. The sharp end is going to go under here. Slide it in down at the bottom and then stick it underneath this. And we're good just like that. And then we'll screw it in. Now you could, I believe the directions say wait till you get this up so you can move it to help with the door gap. But this door gap came out really good the last time and it wasn't necessary. But if you did have to move it, you could. And I'm never expecting this to be entirely waterproof, so that's not a problem anyway. What the hell that backwards thing was. Okay, we'll set up the other door next. Here's the one with the door handle on it with the square. And stripes go on the outside, so that's going to go face down. And put the hinges on. And I'll pause because you've seen this hinge thing already. Okay, now we're going to mount the doors. This is a hell of a lot easier once you made sure it was square. You put it together. Stick it in there. Make sure it's flush. All the edges are straight. If the thing's not square, you should fix it now. Like the directions say, not to open like this, keep it closed, let this line up. If you have to wedge it, go for it. And then you go inside and screw it in, which is what we'll do. All right. So once you got it in there, there's not much other lining up to do. I'll do the outside hinge screws. You can see at first it'll pull away. You can't see in the camera there's a gap here. But when I pull these screws in, it's going to close up. But you can see I can't really get in there very well, and I'm not gonna. I'm going to put all the outside screws in and then open the hinge and do it. I can't see the bottom one with the camera. Trust me, it's just like the other 6. Now I'll open the door up. And you can see there's a little gap where the hinge isn't pulled in. But once I put these screws in, it'll tighten right up. All right, let's take a look way back here. There's our hinge. Get that out of here. No problem, hits the center. Spring welds and pulls shut just fine. Now let's see if we can't screw up the other one. This one has this lip on it. It's going to keep it from opening and catch on the back of the other door. So obviously we got to open this one up to get it in there. Go. Make sure that shuts. Everything lines up good. And then we'll go inside and screw these hinges up. Well, screw them on. I don't know about screw them up. We'll see about that. Same process as before. since I'm right-handed, this could be a little challenging on this side. You can see that kind of pulled away and then went back again once I screwed it in. Light on this drill really helps. And then I'll get the bottom one. Just like before, we'll pull the hinges in with these screws. I like this thing because it's just like a screwdriver. The more you turn, the tighter it gets. If you just turn a little bit, it doesn't put a lot of torque in. If you turn hard, then it really torques it. Let's see where we're at. Alright, make sure that one closes good. And we're getting there. Now the doorknob. Doorknob is going to come in this yellow bag in the part number 5696. Oh, I ripped it. The doorknob is, oh hell, if you don't know, can't figure out what the doorknob is, you're drunk. Put the beer away. Take a nap. Get out tomorrow. So, actually I'm going to come in a little closer on this. Where the hell's the doorknob? Oh, there it is. So this is going to go on the inside, and this guy with the square And this should go inside of here for reinforcement. And then this will go and squeeze right through this hole. Now this hole, since it's plastic, it's not always accurate, so I'm going to have to shave it just a little bit. And you can just get in here and dig it all out. And I want it to fit pretty tight. There we go. There. That's pretty good. And that's how it should go in. Just like that. And then we'll screw it on the other side. Put that metal plate in there. So you can't just yank it out and this plastic screw goes over it. Sure it does. I'm going to tap that in a little bit more. Oh yeah, that was useful. So I'm going to go over on the bench and drive this in so it's flush. It's just going to, oh no, my thumb pushed it in. It just was caught on a piece of plastic was all. So. I just keep spinning that and tightening it up. I don't want to strip off the threads. There we go. Because it is just plastic, but it does hang on. Well, keep in mind this is not Fort Knox. This isn't a safe. It's a plastic shed. You stuck anything really valuable in here, you're taking a risk. But for, you know, lawnmower will fit in here nice and shelves. You keep it outside. It's great for storing your lawnmower and whatever other stuff. It'll keep kids out. And if you want to break into it, you got to make enough noise for the neighbors to notice. So now I'm going to back up a bit more, and I'm going to take this piece, which is the latch mechanism, and I got a cotter pin. So this lip has to be this way to catch the door. I'm going to stick this one in the bottom, run this up through the top hole. And stick that through the square hole. And turn it around the right way. Try that. take, we'll stick this up through the top hole. Get that square peg through there. Throw in Mr. Cotter pin. And there we go. And there we go. I mean, imagine if you just yank this shit out of it, you'll pull it out. It's really going to keep prying eyes and kids out of there. Now I have 2 of these, and maybe they don't expect people to buy 2 of these. But what I did was I painted one key red and put a little red paint on the other one outside, so I would know that which key was which. And the keys are a little stiff, but I imagine they'll work out eventually. So there's the lock on the black key, and then I take the red key and there's the only complaint I have with it, is that key doesn't go in there that easy. But once I get the key in, the red key